Good morning, everybody. First of all, thank you for participating in this webinar concerning the Peppol regulation in Belgium with a link to our partnership with xSuite. My name is Arno Dobbs. I'm a SAP finance consultant here at Flexso, and I brought our partner with us.
My name is Hans Willems, Managing Director from xSuite Benelux. I'll be hosting together this webinar.
Okay, so how to prepare for Peppol in Belgium with the upcoming regulation. So first of all, we are going to have the contents or the agenda. So we're going to talk about what is Peppol, how can Peppol be linked with an AP automation such as xSuite, how can we, Flexso, help you with deciding which solution is the best for you, and then we will switch to Hans, who will present a demo. So first of all, what is Peppol? Peppol is an electronic invoice requirement. There was a global evolution of these electronic requirements. As you can see here, invoicing has been around much longer than today. It started even way before 2011 in Mexico. Mexico was one of the pioneer countries that came up with this solution or this idea for invoicing, so the electronic invoices. And over time, this idea came to Europe. As you can see, many countries jumped on this bandwagon, and this brings us today where Belgium is also coming with the regulations for P2B invoicing. So on the next slide, we will have the country-specific requirements. Early on, all countries had their own solution. They came up with their own way of working. So for example, in Mexico, they had the CFDI. In Spain, they have the SII. In Italy, they have SDI. And Europe saw an opportunity to combine all countries together to make one general solution, and they come up with Peppol. So what is Peppol? Peppol stands for Pan-European Public Procurement Online. I always say that the Pan-European part is actually a bit outdated. Why? Because we also see that Peppol is something that countries outside of Europe see the benefits from, and we see countries, for example, Malaysia, Australia, Japan, who are trying to investigate if they can also work with this system. Peppol enables electronic invoices to be exchanged between trading partners. This can be invoices, but also e-orders, e-advanced shipping notes, and much more. But for now, Peppol focuses on the invoicing part. Also important is that Peppol is not an e-procurement or an invoicing system. It is an exchange service. So to say it simple, Peppol is the mailman who sends the mail from point A to point B. Peppol uses their own created four-corner model. So they work with access points. So what is an access point? Access point is a third-party organization that makes a business available to connect to the Peppol network. So for example, the sender, so the supplier, sends their invoice to their access point, and the access point will put this invoice on the system, so on the network, the Peppol network, and the buyer, so the receiver, sees that there is an invoice ready for them to take into the system, so they will pull it out of the Peppol network, and then the cycle is done. So why electronic invoices? What is in it for you? So besides that, it's going to be a regulation here in Belgium. We see, as I said earlier, there's an international standardization with Peppol. So especially within Europe, it will be easily to send invoices between several countries. The data security, of course, as Peppol is a secure platform, it is way more secure than just mailing. Also, with scam mails, for example, it's a lot more secure. The cost saving due to reduced validation efforts, reduction in the infrastructure costs and efforts, and of course, there's a high availability because of the different regulations between different countries. So more specifically, the regulation in Belgium, document compliance in Belgium. From 2023, there was already a regulation for B2G documents, so business to government. And from January next year, so 2026, the B2B invoicing will be mandatory. And there was also talks already of the VIDO project, which is a European project to make these invoices mandatory to go via Peppol from 2028, but this is still on paper and nothing has been decided yet. So how does such a Peppol process flow look like? So I'm going to explain it into two flows. First, the outgoing flow and then the incoming flow. So the outgoing flow, we look at a source document which is created in SAP, so your billing document. This billing document will be sent to an invoicing solution which will translate your billing document, your SAP billing document, into a Peppol XML, so an XML with the standards of Peppol. This XML will be sent via the sender access point to the Peppol network. And the invoicing solution makes sure that this flow happens automatically, so nothing needs to be done manually. And then for the incoming flow, it's basically the same but the other way around. There's an XML, so Peppol XML ready in Peppol to be pulled into your system via the receiver access point. And then once it's ready into the system, it still needs to be processed, of course, because the Peppol requirement only suggests that you need to pull it into your system and then process it further. So this can be done automatically with a third party or another solution, or manually like a regular PDF invoice. So how can we link Peppol with the AP automation? So in order to make the full flow automated. So in the Peppol network, as I said, the first three slides, the first three columns, we have the invoicing solution. So once an invoice is ready in Peppol, it's going to be selected and pulled into your system, but then it still needs to be processed. So then the last two columns are in play, which are the AP processing tool to convert this XML into a readable SAP invoice, which then can go through the approval flow of that solution. As you can see here. Okay, next slide. So how can we, Flexso, help you with that decision? So how to select the best solution? So first of all, of course, SAP also has their own solution, the DRC solution, which stands for Document Reporting and Compliance. This is the solution to be compliant with Peppol, but this can, of course, also be linked with a vendor invoice management such as Vim or SIM. And we will look if other SAP products are already in use. For example, Vim, it might be more beneficial to stick with the SAP standard ones. For public cloud, we also see that it's commonly advised to link DRC with SIM, the public cloud solution for this AP automation, or third-party solutions, so dedicated solutions with their own pros. For example, if you already have an EDI solution that also offers the Peppol connectivity, or for example, xSuite, which we will show later. So we've also produced a questionnaire which helps us facilitate this process. So with this questionnaire, we will already have an idea of how your landscape looks like, the amount of invoices that you send and receive, for example. And based on this questionnaire, we will have an Flexso intake. So based on this questionnaire and this intake meeting, we can advise based on certain parameters. For example, are you on-prem or are you in public cloud? The current way of working, do you already have AP tools in use? For example, if you're already using the SAP standard Vim, maybe it's better to look at the SAP DRC solution or a third party, or maybe a combination, so a substandard, for example, SAP DRC with a third party solution for the automation. These are all things that we will look at and we will talk about in this intake meeting. But one of these solutions that we partner with is xSuite. So xSuite is such an AP automation tool. And why xSuite? First of all, of the technical excellence. So xSuite solution is fully equipped to handle these technical aspects of invoicing, this automation also for automating the AP flow of these invoices. Future-proof, their solutions are designed to be easily upgradable. So for example, if you're currently on an ECC platform and you want to migrate or upgrade to S/4HANA, it's really easy to upgrade xSuite with your SAP upgrade. Of course, xSuite is also Peppol registered, so they're able to connect to the Peppol network. They have a flexibility of archiving. They have their own solution. They can link with other third-party solutions. Fiori ready. Also, xSuite is able to work in the Fiori platform of SAP, and then the flexible approval flow, so a workflow which is necessary to set up such a AP automation part. Okay, and the next part, I give the word to Hans, and he will talk about the solution into more detail.
Thank you, Arno, for the introduction. First, we would like to explain a little bit about xSuite and xSuite's product portfolio. In principle, we have three main pillars: information capturing, process automation, and archive platform. All of them is built in own hands, so all is built by xSuite itself. Information capturing is all kind of documents can become in. If it's PDF, XML documents, Peppol documents, it doesn't matter. Second pillar is the process automation. Process automation, we can handle the workflows inside SAP, not only for invoicing, but also for other processes. Then archive platform, you need for an electronic document handling, you need of course a decent archive platform, which then can follow your documentations online. If you look to the processes we have procurement, so we have a workflow inside SAP on the procurement side, accounts payable, what we will see also today, order management, and also cross-company processes like delivery notes or other confirmations can be built up in a workflow process. Advantages, we can handle it in on-premise situations or cloud environments, or even a hybrid scenario is possible. And our main focus is SAP, but we also can handle our portfolio into any ERP system. For the whole Peppol part, we have built our own cloud solution, xSuite e-invoice, eDNA solution, which is 100% connected and integrated into SAP screens for the arrival with the business workflow. In the eDNA solution, we are a connection to the Peppol network, and where we can do a converting of the XML data, of course, and we make a visualization of the document so that anyone can also read out the document itself. If you look to what is already there in our eDNA, Electronic Document Network Adapter, we already have a counter support available for the existing counters which are using it already, and also the connection to ANAF or NAF or SDI portals as they are used in the countries specific is available in our eDNA solution. If you look to the compliance of the whole environment, there is of course a data integrity check, which ensures that what is coming in is also a correct format. And then we also have this format check. So if it is a German e-invoice, X-Rechnung, or a Peppol based billing document, for us it doesn't matter. The validation is done in our cloud platform. Of course, we are also validating the data from the invoices, and we check the compliance with the European format EN 16931. As already said, we are Peppol certified invoice dispatch and receipt portal, and we have also our C2C portal connections like ANAF, NAF, and SDI. If we want to see what we will do in the demo now is also the outbound part, but for, of course, connecting SAP, your SAP system, if it's S/4HANA or ECC or in a public cloud environment, It's possible by doing some additional customizing into the system. There you need to do your billing type, you need to map towards the types of your invoicing. Then you need to address your endpoint to a company code. So each company code you have in your SAP system must be addressed to an endpoint system. And of course, each customer also needs to be addressed to an endpoint system. Mainly in Belgium, this will be also the VAT registration number. And if you have S4HANA, then you can update that in your business partner. If you don't have S4HANA, then you can use our customizing to connect your customer towards an endpoint ID. Then if you go to and I will show it later on in a live demo, if you go to our cloud environment, there you have all your connections for the portal administration. You have, of course, an overview of your inbound and your outbound invoices. And you have your detail for your invoices, of course. A visualization which is done from the XML which comes in. And at the end, if for incoming invoices, if you receive the invoice into SAP, then of course you have a visualization of the document, and all data from the XML is transferred to our xSuite invoice solution, and from there you can post a document, and the workflow can be triggered automatically based on the settings you have done in your own system. If you look to the whole flow, and we will jump now into the demo, and we will do it step by step. So if you look to the whole step, the outgoing invoices, your ERP system creates an outgoing invoice, and it will be transferred into our xSuite EDNA solution. There we only have one format and one connection channel is needed to send invoices from SAP to the EDNA solution. If you are going to check in our EDNA solution at this moment, then in live situation, here you see the networks. You can connect to a Peppol network, and there you have your identifiers, the Peppol, and you link to the supported document types over there. And of course, your inbound and outbound invoices are all available. If you then check, okay, this morning we sent out one invoice from our environment, and if you're going to SAP, and some of you will see for sure that SAP standard will create a billing document. So here is the transaction for billing document, VF01. And if you go in and we create an invoice, and at the moment I save the document, we see immediately that the document is created with number 31 at the end. Yeah? So the first step is sending to EDNA is performed, and now EDNA solution at xSuite will send it out to the format expected by our vendor, our vendors. Yeah? If you go back to the EDNA solution and we do a new filter on our today's documents, we see that the document number 31 arrived in our EDNA solution. Here we also have a visualization of the document itself. You see the invoice, it's created today with the total amount. And we have an audit report where you see, okay, the processing history. It came in and it was sent out towards your customer. Post-processing is done and the sending is complete. So for the outgoing part, in principle, you send out an invoice same way as you create in your SD documents, and based on the settings from our outbound structure, it arrives in our EDNA outbound invoice part. So your invoice now came at your customer side, and they can process it by their own network portal connection or the Peppol connection, where they are. The other way around, if you look from the vendor, if they send you an invoice based on their own Peppol network, They transmit it into the Peppol network. We pick it up with our eDNA solution. And from there, we send it backwards to your ERP system. So what we did in the demo, we sent out an invoice for one company code. And let's go back to the SAP part. And let's go into our invoice monitor. And I will take everything from today. We will see that the invoice we just sent out with the document number 31 is arrived in our SAP part. And we have all data available with a visualization of the XML document which came in. The original XML is attached, but the xSuite invoice is visible into the screen. Of course, this is now the view of SAP. If you look to the Fury part, then we also have the same invoice available in our Fury layouts. And also in Fury, we have the same reference number available. And if you go into the edit mode, we also see here that the invoice is available. All data from the invoice is found on the document, is transferred to SAP. And here you already can see, okay, there is a blocking difference for your quantity. And now you just can process this document. And in the workflow, you can park the document and it is sent out. This was my part of the live demo, and thank you for this part. And we'll hand over back to Arno for finalization of the webinar.
So for a small summary of what we saw, I think the main key or the key takeaway is, of course, that Peppol compliancy from January 2026 will be the deadline. So in less than 8 months. And then based on your business profile and needs, we at Flexso will advise the best solution, combining these Peppol requirements with API automation or just general compliancy, so without the API automation. And then the third point is multiple roads lead to Rome. So we have a set of solutions. As I said, you have this SAP standard solutions. Maybe there's a way of working with your current EDI partners or with our partner xSuite as well. There are multiple ways or solutions to be compliant by January 2026. So now I believe we go to the questions part.
So we seems not to be able, that questions are not coming in. So I think if you have questions, then we will stop the seminar. If you have some questions, send an email to one of us, Arno or me, or to the generic email addresses from Flexso or xSuite, and then we will come back to you and answer as soon as possible your questions.